Hey everybody, it's Marty the JavaScript Party. I'm my buddy Rhett, and this she's starting to get a little cocky now. She was yesterday. She was pretty grateful to get to come out, but then she started taking it for granted again, which I think is just the nature of things. People, you don't really appreciate things when you get them too often, and then when you don't get them, and then you first get them back, you really appreciate it. Stuff like that. So I've like noticed like last week that like how nice today is has way more to do with what yesterday was like and the day before was like than what today is like. Like if it's 80 degrees outside, that can feel Fahrenheit, that can feel amazing if it was 100 for the last 3 days and now it's 80, or it can feel really hot if it was 40s for the last 3 days and then now it feels like 80. So it's just like one of those things you have to think through and think about. And Rhett is definitely in the, oh, I've been coming out for 2 days now, so things are great. But she does like coming out of her cage, and she likes to look out the window. She likes to see the cats and the birds and the trees outside and all that stuff. So, and then like her other spot is more like centralized in the living room. There's not as many windows to look out of or anything like that, but the dogs and stuff play a lot out there, so she enjoys she enjoys watching that. Anyways, I think I'm working on flashcards. I'm pretty sure. So I'm going to go over to that file. Let's make sure everything's closed up first. Okay, yeah, let's close that. I've been burned way too many times leaving that open and then not being able to get this 4200 back. I don't think 4200. Yeah. So now we don't have a running deck. So let's go over here and let's go to flashcards. I feel like in flashcards we're actually starting to try to do work. And I think I might have made the first story way too, like we're actually starting to get to write code. And I think I may have made the story way too, or made the first story to work on way too um, like broad. I think I probably should have. It's like I think I probably should have made it like, see, this is implement the voice structure. That is way too broad and vague. Um, so let me go to stcd to my flashcard builder, and then I'm going to start it up, and then while it's starting, I'll explain what we're trying to do. So the idea is that this is going to be a application uh, that is all about um, like it's enhanced by the voice, and the main reason for the voice will be to be able to, instead of having to type out the questions and answers on the flashcards, to be able to just speak them, because I think speaking is a lot easier. Um, so we're going to use the continuous version. So voice in the browser has two versions. There's a discrete version and there's a continuous version. We'll be using the continuous version, and we're going to have a toggle. The idea is it will be a toggle and you can turn off the voice or not. And if voice is on, then it will have enhanced stability. But everything you'll be able to also do with the keyboard or the mouse, or with the mouse and keyboard. Um, but for now, for the start, I mean, but the general idea is that you could also use voice, and you could probably do. I'm hoping to make it where you could do everything with voice. I don't know if that's going to be possible, feasible, but I'm hoping you can do everything with voice. Um, Once you've turned it on, you can not touch your computer and create all the cards and all that. Um, but anyway, so the way it's going to work is you'll click this button, and depending on what you've done in the past before on this page, you'll have an option of allowing, or maybe it may just make click on if you in the past you said allow while visiting this site. But I'm going to say allow this time. Hello, how are you? What's happening? So as you see, we're getting different things. So, I could just be like, answer, question, right? So down here we see that we said answer. And so maybe we'll highlight the answer one, and then you can start putting stuff in, and you can start saying what you want to say in there. And maybe you'll have like a, I don't know, we'll probably need like a Siri type of command that kind of brings you up, like, um, but anyways, and then I think it, that's so funny. Anyways, I think what you'll be able to do also is, like, um, I don't know. Yeah, I guess you'll probably be able to you'll be able to, you can define your own command. So it'll be like, hey, Marty, right? I'll just make it, hey, Marty, and then you can change it. You can change it to whatever you want. You'll be able to probably have like a text thing to configure, and you say, hey, this is the reset. This is the command. These are the words that I say that are only that will stop whatever's happening. So if you're in the middle of writing a flashcard, and see, I'm thinking out loud. I'm just thinking through these requirements. But if you're working on a flashcard, let's go back to our local host, and then you say a phrase, I have to make it to where there's some way that you can indicate that, um, I don't want a, I I want, to get out of this mode that I'm in. So it does not that the flashcard just keeps on filling out whatever, you know. Anyways, so that's what I'm thinking about. So this, I want to make this a material toggle. This is our toggle recognition. It looks like it's up in a header. I don't know how far back. I guess could look here. So we have and then we have our app toggle recognition. So basically, we want like a little slider that goes back and forth here. And that slider, when it's on, means that voice is on. And when it's off, and I think sliders have like three choices. Let's go look at that right now. So I think what we want, the idea is that like while you're in that middle where you haven't accepted or not, it gives you a different view. And I feel like this little toggle is the best one, but maybe not. Let's go. I'm gonna just do a Control F for toggle. It says there's three of them. Button toggle. Oh yeah, that's really neat. So yeah, this, we could use that. That would be a good one. I don't think that's not what I had in my brain. This is what I had in my. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is exactly what I want. And yeah, it's like almost like this thing was designed for this. So here's a basic toggle. But I think there's like three states possible. So that's interesting. So I think this checkbox might be. So maybe we like this, it's off, and then like this, but without the checkbox means that it's, um, like this. Yeah, I think maybe this is the look we want. Like this means it's off completely. And then I think this means that it's trying. And then this means like it's asking, like you're in this mode right here, right? When, I don't know if you remember, let's see, I think I have to relate. Like when you're here, oh no, so it remembers from the previous time. But if you remember, like last time, it had like the little, um, ask you the question. So that's like, um, that would be a different view. Um, so I think that's what we want. Let's see what else we have. I wonder if it feels like there's three states there though. So that's one, two states, but it feels like this is a third state. And I feel like you could probably catch this, even though it's disabled, you can catch the click. Maybe it should be like a two-step process. I'm going to ask ChatGPT. Okay, so I am working on voice recognition. In software in the browser, and I have Angular material, and so I need to provide the user with the ability to toggle VR voice, some voice rec on and off. But I think I need 3 states. On, working, enabled, VR enabled, comma, on, VR waiting. So like the browser asked for permission, but the like the browser asked for permission, but the user has not accepted. And we are off. Yeah, so yeah. Yeah, see, I don't think this is a unusual thing. This happened. It's not typical, but it's not unusual. Asking permission, initialize the microphone, actively working. Okay, yeah, so that's fine. UI pattern, single toggle button with changing icon. So that's a good idea. With the tooltip, that's pretty sweet actually. I really like that slider toggle. But since you have 3 sets, you treat toggle as the user intent on, off. User intent on and off, while the UI shows the actual state. I just like it. I just like it. Slide toggle. User intent on off. Status. Oh, okay. So with the status text or icon. So. Okay, so I'm going to grab this, right? We definitely want this. I'm just going to put this here. I don't know if this is where this belongs in the long run, but for the moment, I think this is a good place to put this. And I don't want to export it from here though. If I create like an interfaces, which is probably what I need to do, then I'll do that. Then I'll export it from wherever that is. Now, so now they're saying, hey, go ahead and create this. I'm just trying to get myself. I really just want to bail from this. That last video just took too long, and I have a few things I want to do, but I do want to. I do want to capture enough. Okay, so this is a function, and it will let you enable or disable. So this is kind of cool. So yeah, we'll definitely have like a service in here. This is so perfect though. It's just like, I mean, this is what's so weird about working with um, this is what's so weird about working with ChatGPT and AIs and stuff is sometimes it like knows better than you know. Like, cause it's looking at all references. Um, Navigator. Okay, I don't even know what that's all about. Get user media audio true. Yes. So that's really weird. I don't know what it's doing there. And then end voice. See, it's like I don't know why it didn't just give me this sort of comment here. Like that is very confusing. And honestly, this is the kind of confusing that like if you didn't quite understand everything you're working on, that is probably going to screw you up pretty good. Navigator media get user media audio true. Then I'm actually very quite curious if so when you go to start it, it's going to set this to waiting. And then I guess it can check this. I don't know. I don't know if this Navigator media Navigator equals. Well, see, navigate. Let's just do this. Navigator dot. What? Oh, hardware currency. Oh no, hardware concurrency. Holy shit. It is just so crazy how. Like, what is Navigator? I've never even heard of this thing before. It's so bizarre. And then over here, I think this is what I want, the matte slide toggle. And then this, oh, I guess these are our, this is the off waiting. So let's go ahead and put this in here. Oops. Yeah, this navigator thing. I have never heard of that. And it's weird. And see, if you work at a place that uses this, you may work with this every single day, and you may be thinking to yourself, how does this guy have 20 years of browser software development experience, been coding in the browser since 1996, and not know what Navigator is? I knew Navigator after my first day of working wherever I'm working, and that is the challenge. Makes it very, very difficult to hire people. Makes it very, very difficult to evaluate people. It's just a very, very hard thing. Um, that's so wild. Like, I wonder what the problem with this is. Okay, so let's just go ahead and get rid of this whole switch case thing. I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I'm sure ng if is going to be just fine for this. I love that. Waiting for mark from. That's right. That's exactly right. Um, okay, so now for the matte slide toggle, I think we need to, let's go ahead and just grab this CSS. Let's talk through it for a second. Okay, oops, wrong one. So this makes that whole thing like flex, lines the items in the center, it adds a gap. I don't really know what that one is. And then this sets the minimum width of to 150 pixels so that it's not like moving around up there. That'll be nice. Okay, so we need our matte slider, which it did not give us the code for that. So let's just go ahead and look at this right on here. Let's go up here, grab our matte slider toggle. Import that bad boy right here. I think that's my really bad attempt of doing like a New Orleans kind of thing. If you come to the United States, if you New Orleans is quite an interesting town to go to. It's been a long time since I've been there, but I know when I went there um, with my wife, I think it was back in the 1990s. Like I would lay down to go to sleep at night, and then like 3 hours later, 4 hours later, I'd be wide awake because the energy level in that town at that time. So this is before the hurricane, though. There was a hurricane that absolutely wiped them out. Um, but like I could not sleep. Okay, I don't know why nothing is building. A lot of time. There we go. That's nice. So these are the things. This is that. Oh, I like that. Now, I think it is too big, but the thing is it's showing all three. I think the text is just too big too. Like this voice recognition CSS. Okay, so matte caption. See, matte caption, I think typically will make things smaller. So why is it so big? Is it because of the status thing? No, that's just the width. So weird. I thought matte caption was a very kind of like only like a few pixels tall. So let's look at this. I think we want to go to computed. Okay, so the font size is 22, which is way bigger than what I want. All right, so let's ask ChatGPT if it can help with that. So my voice state text, the font size on my voice status text is 22px. Would like to make it. See, yeah, right here. Yesterday I was working on something like this. I think it was. Mm, Matte caption. Yeah, this made the text much smaller. For some reason, this is not working. it's because of this matte toolbar. I think that is, maybe I needed to put the caption at the span level, the class, the matte caption class. My experience has always been that this class makes things smaller. Like Angular material isn't like a really solid, like it's not like this all inclusive like Angular, like Bootstrap or something where it has, or Tailwind where it has like everything you could ever imagine in it, like every kind of styling, but it has a good amount. Okay, that didn't seem to make any difference. Okay, I'm just gonna try this style, font size, 12px. Yeah, see, that's more what I want. And if we're actually being honest, though, I think I'd rather have icons there anyways for off, on, waiting, and on. So let's just go ahead and get rid of all of this. And we'll figure that out next week. I'm just going to change this to waiting. Actually, it's like we actually do have it, right? So let's see. I want to do this because this is how it works at my work, but I don't think this is how it works in this version of Angular. I believe it's, oof, cannot remember how to do this. I'm just going to do this. And actually, I think if I'm being honest, I would rather the icon be to the left of it. It's just a display none. So for now, we're just like hard code hiding. And then let's go ahead and take this guy. I think I want to put him on the left, not the right. Man, that seems weird. Something seems off about the way this label is. It's just like too big. And I don't know that I like this isn't really aimed at developers, so I don't think we want to call it voice recognition. I think I want to call it microphone. Because that's really what it does is it listens microphone and then off, on. Okay, so what's a good for off? Power off. Yeah, that's a good one. So it's not going to like doing this right off the top. Because, and I don't even know if we need, I don't think we need, I don't think these need to be in a span. We're only going to show one at a time. And then I think we need to import the matte icon. I know there's something we need to import. I'm hoping it's the matte icon. Icon. I believe I want module. And then I want to come in here, comma, boom, and let's see how that looks. It's crazy how slow it is sometimes. Oh yeah, I like that. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. It is like a plug. Visibility off. Or block. All right, let's try toggle off. I think this is what people mostly like when they envision software development. This is okay. Yeah, I don't want that. We already have a toggle. Okay, let's try block. Like, you're just writing code, you're just changing things, and then you look and see it and all that. And I think that's what like most people think software development is this. So this is like a little off, and then okay, so if I use block, okay, use block. What is a good one for weight? Block. This is waiting. Ah, yeah, that's a good one. That is, yeah, the hourglass empty, I think, is the ideal one. See how that looks. And then schedule. Oh, okay, that's for, they're saying alternatively for this, we could try schedule. Let's see what schedule looks like. This is probably one of the most fun parts of coding is, oh yeah, I like that better. Um, okay, let's try power. I didn't like power off, but let's try power. And then we're gonna probably want to set the colors and stuff like that. But I think I'm gonna leave that for next week. I just didn't want to be in a place because kind of like today, we were just kind of ramping up from scratch. It felt like, maybe not. I guess, no, I don't like that. Um, check circle. Let's try check circle. Yeah, I guess that's what we want. And so we're gonna have to do some alignment. I almost would rather have this instead of having this here. Like that. I would like to. So this is like I would like. Yeah, maybe that's. I would like it to be like on its own line, but you know what? For now, I'm just gonna leave this. Maybe we'll come up with something better. But it would be kind of cool, like if it was across the whole top. So almost like this. Yeah, I think I do like that better. Yeah, I think that looks better. Maybe underneath though might be better. I do like how it looks though, in general. Like I think it's like shaping up very nicely. Mm, I don't even know. So basically, when you click this, this will turn blue like that, but then this one will be there with like a, I guess it was like a burgundy is what it thought. Okay, so what are the colors? Um, so can I just do that? I don't know if I can do this or not. I know that this color thing is like, I don't know. Sometimes it seems like it works and sometimes it doesn't. And see, this time it didn't. Okay, so let's grab this. Oh, it's because, okay, I've never done this where use this word color and then, oh, is it color or class? Okay, why? Why would you do that? Okay, so class, if I'm gonna use classes, I'm gonna use classes. If I'm gonna use color, I'm gonna use color. I'm not gonna mix and match. Um, and then class status on. And then we want to come in here. I have no idea why you would ever do that. That's crazy. Like if you're gonna use like their default colors, use their default colors. If you're not going to, then don't. Okay, I think it was status worn, right? And of course, man, that's the kind of stuff that just makes developers look so bad. It's a shame, because people shouldn't judge based on that, but they do. Okay, what's the hex? What's the RGB for? Oh, I guess I wanted the hex, not the RGB. All right, I think this was pretty good. Oh yeah, that looks so fucking nice. I'm really happy with that. I feel like that's a bit bigger than I want to be, but whatever. But I do want these to be sort of vertically, like centered a little bit better vertically. Probably just have to set the margin on these guys. I can never, or maybe I think maybe I need to make it. Like, it's inside of a status, isn't it? Equals status. Does that do anything? Okay, yeah, we don't want to do that. Icons. There we go. That's a lot better. And then basically, I think inside of status icons, we want to, let's see. This is always tricky. I think we want status icons to be position relative. And then these should all go into here. It just makes it a little easier to uh, be less likely to really cause some kind of bizarre unintended consequence. If you further, um, what is the word for that? Specify. And now I think what we want is like this. This is one of those things that like I do all the time. And I always am like, am I going to get like negative feedback from NPR? And I never do for some reason. We want this one to be position absolute. I think it's perfectly fine for them all to be, okay, so it shouldn't be -4, it should be 4. And what we can do is, I think these are all matte icon. So I think I can even just say if it's a matte icon. And I think this will take care of all of them. So we should never have more than one at a time. So it's not a big deal that they're all sitting on top of each other. It is a big deal that they are equal to px. It should be too much, but that's so funny. Okay, so 30px. That sucks. Let's see, display block. So that didn't make any difference at all. That is so weird that the top. That is crazy. Okay, so let's look at the inspector. I can't quite visualize what the heck is going on now, why this is so far down. All right, so what if I don't make this thing absolute anymore? Is that the problem here? Okay, I feel like that is definitely better. But I think our top is still screwed up, right? Let's try that. Top is equal to 4px, 4px. And it's saying that it can't do this because position is equal to You know what? That feels like the right one. Okay, so I think it's supposed to be, we want this to be position relative. Okay, and then, so if we were to take our weighting one and say display none, one of these goes away, and then we get our other one, we say display none. Because this is basically what we're gonna get. They're gonna basically, we're only gonna have one at any given time showing. Okay, and then I think that 30 is too wide. Let's see if we need to set a width. And let's see if this one needs to be relative anymore. It's so important to always, like, does this one need, I think this one, I don't know. Does this one need to be relative? Okay, so it doesn't even look like we need this one anymore. But base, well, I guess we do want this one because we want to share, and we do, I want to push that down. So top is equal to 4px. And like I said, this is, it feels hacky as heck, but it doesn't seem to ever result in any problems. Okay, so this does not seem to be working. Border is equal to 2px solid black. Okay, so it does not, maybe it has to be relative. Okay. Okay, so is that, I feel like that's good. It's hard to tell. Once you've kind of gotten your head like all stuck in this stuff, it kind of, is equal to something that's like weird. Okay. I feel like it's not even like, let's go back to this border. And there'll never ever be a time that it's easier to do this than right now. I almost feel like I want a margin to the right. I think it's 0, 0. That's the top. That's the right. That's the bottom. And then 10px. Let's try 20px. Go. I think that looks good. Here's that. Now let's go ahead and try this one. What if they're all off? I'm curious what we get. Let's just try the Warren. I think this is off, right? This is like the actual situation we're in right now. And so, yeah, next week we'll add like the ng if around making these hide. I don't think it's going to be that hard to come up to speed. Figure out, okay, we're trying to, I guess I don't want this. I am a little bit perplexed by that navigator thing. I don't know. Maybe I do use it in some places. I don't think so. I don't have any memory of that whatsoever. Okay. So I think that looks good. So this is how you're going to turn it off by default. I think it should, yeah, it's off by default. And then you'll click this and then you'll get your little pop-up that says, hey, do you want to do that? And while you're in that mode, you will get the little yellow waiting thing. And then um, once you accept, if you deny, then it'll go back and this will be red again. But if you accept, then this will go to the right. And your microphone will be enabled at that point and it'll listen and for voice commands and stuff. So that'll be good. I think it's crazy. I feel like we're actually pretty darn close to at least having a basic working um, application, which would be cool. Anyways, happy coding, everybody. Bye.